Today we're going to talk about hunting deer with a bow and arrow. Stick with us, we're going to talk all about it today. Here we go. Hi everybody, welcome back to Bobby's Bucks, where I share everything that I do in order to harvest my next buck. And today we're going to talk about archery season, and we're about 3 weeks away right now, and archery season is absolutely my favorite. And I just wanted to share all the tips and tricks that I know as far as just to make your archery season a little bit easier. I tell you, when I started deer hunting, I hunted with a 12 gauge shotgun, and it was my second or third year when I finally bought a bow and arrow. And it took an additional 3 years for me to finally harvest a deer. And because nobody was there teaching me, whether you're a brand new hunter or you've been hunting for years, I want to share some really important tips that will speed things up for you and will just help you prep for a successful season. Now, this isn't about having the most expensive gear or the latest gadgets or apps or anything like that. I mean, I could go on and on about that. This is just about being effective in the field. So before we even dive in, if you're just getting started, check out this video about getting started with deer hunting. I share a lot of helpful information in that video. So first off, let's talk about your bow. You do not need $1,000, $2,000, even $3,000 bow. These bows are expensive in order to hunt successfully. Honestly, those high-end bows are just like a pound lighter, maybe a bit smoother, but for most hunters, beginner or seasoned, it's unnecessary. My Hoyt bow, I've been using it for 15 years. I've restrung it twice and it's never failed me. Even outdoor writers like John Eberhart, they get top shelf bows sent to them every year and they just pile up. He's still hunting deer with the same bow he used for the past 20 years. When you find a good one, they're built to last. Next, let's talk about arrows. Now, heavy arrows penetrate better, but they fly slower. And light arrows are faster, but sometimes they sacrifice some penetration. So something like a 350 spine arrow works well for most deer setups. Now, here's a key tip. Your broadheads, they need to weigh the same as your practice tips. That way, when you're shooting your target, you get the same flight feel, accuracy. That way you'll have the same that you do with your razor blades, because when you put those on when you're hunting deer, things may change if you're not using the same grain. So you want to make sure everything stays consistent. Now, broadheads, they're all good. They come in fixed or mechanical, and each have their pros. Now, fixed blades, they're forgiving, they're less expensive. They tend to penetrate a little deeper. And mechanical heads, they're great. Their speed, their expansion, they're really cool. There's lots of different kinds, but the key is consistency, knowing your setup. And you really have to find your favorites because they're all good. I've used them all, and nearly all of them, and I like them all. So when it comes to clothing, you don't need carbon camo from the newest catalog. Walmart camo will suffice. This jacket is 30 years old, so when you start out, just get your basic stuff, but over time you can upgrade to the carbon-based scent clothing. Now, check out this video in the corner if you want to see more about scent control. It's really important that you put all your stuff in scent-free packs, totes, and spray your boots again and again and let them dry and spray them again. And when you walk in to the woods, make sure you're walking in quietly, always with the wind in mind, not spooking anything, because believe it or not, they can smell you, hear you coming before you ever even get your eyes on them. So, accessing your stand carefully, that's one of the most important things when it comes to the hunt, because you don't want to race out there and spook everything and ruin your hunt before it even starts. That's a big mistake folks make. They don't even take the wind into account until they get on their stand. Deer have a super nose, so you have to take the wind into account. So practice is more than just shooting at a target. I shoot in different hunting positions. I get up in the tree. I get up in my tree stand sometimes, my saddle. I'll get in my clothes. I'll simulate the hunt. I'll simulate different wind conditions, angles. I'll even shoot on my roof, shooting straight down like a deer is right under my stand. Because on the stand, you're gonna see things like that. You're gonna need patience. And don't shoot right when the deer gets in front of your pin. A lot of new hunters just shoot as soon as the pin gets even close to the brown fur. You want to take your time, exercise patience. Do not shoot just because your pin lands somewhere on the brown fur or the deer, isn't broadside. Also, if the deer isn't broadside, you'll need to wait, even if it's 4 minutes, because you want to only shoot when you have that perfect angle. So say a deer is looking at you, you don't want to shoot a deer straight on, or the deer, you know, isn't broadside and you still squeeze that trigger because you think that the arrow is going to kill it. You know, white-tailed deer, they are incredibly strong and they can clot. Their blood will clot and these wounds will heal and they will keep going with a wound. Several of the deer I've harvested over the years either had previous wounds or I've even found broadheads in them. So make sure you have a broadside angle, quartering away, something where you're confident that you can get a good vital shot, some good penetration, where this deer will expire quickly. The last thing you want to do is, you know, shoot a good deer or even your target deer and just wound it and then it dies in some swamp and nobody ever recovers that beautiful deer. So even if it takes 4, even 5 minutes for that deer to give you the angle or get into the position where you need to, sometimes that's where hunters fail, where they just give up waiting and they'll squeeze the trigger, shoot it, it'll run off and they'll never find it again. It's definitely a battle of willpower and patience, and it's often what separates a good hunt from a missed opportunity. So think about your approach. Know where the deer are likely coming from. It's usually some nasty, thick area where there's security for them. Plan your movements. Execute slowly, quietly, and always with the wind in mind. These deer have super noses, so only hunt the deer that show up. Don't chase every moment and you see deer over here, so then you get down, you run over there, only to turn around and see deer running right under the previous stand site. You know, so just be patient and wait for the deer to come to you. Now, after the shot, wait, watch, and listen. Tracking is a skill that can make or break your season, so look for blood. Now, you watch this video in the corner if you want to watch more about tracking deer. You got to approach them carefully. We also have videos that cover getting your deer out of the woods using a deer cart. Be sure to check this video out in the corner. It's really important to have the right equipment to make this job easy. Also, the right e-bike if you're hunting some private land or maybe some public land that allow e-bikes. Here in Michigan, sadly, they still haven't adjusted the rules and regulations so we can take e-bikes onto public land. It's all designated for ATV trails, but... So before we conclude this video, real quick, I just wanted to share that bow hunting is incredibly hard. You know, and it demands a few things, like a trigger release. There's different kinds, so you want to find your kind. Sorry, I got a cicada bug in the background. And there's fall away rest. These are very accurate sights. This sight actually comes with a little light, so it adds about 5 to 10 minutes in low light conditions. A peep sight, a kisser button. These are things that I use because they're anchors that make it so I consistently shoot the same way. When sighting in, you want to make sure that you are shooting the exact same way and you develop very good shooting mechanics. So, you know, get yourself out to 40 yards. And if you can't, maybe that bow needs to be tuned up, take it in, because these cams, they need to be coming back, rotating simultaneously so everything is set up. Your arrow rest has to be set up correctly so the shaft of your arrow isn't crooked leaving the bow. So all this stuff is very important. Make sure your bow is tuned up correctly. I would recommend staying away from those all-in-one packages for $400. They're very tempting, but these are lesser bows and they shoot like a wet noodle or something. I mean, they're not the same kind of weapon like this. This is a mid-range bow. This is something that you know, you save a little dough, everyone can afford. It's not a $1,000 bow. Buy the bow. I recommend $500 to $600 bow alone, then start adding the accessories. Get yourself a rangefinder so you know exactly where that deer is when it comes out. So that way you're not guessing, because you can be a good shot all day, but if you think that deer is 5 yards farther, and you know, you're going to end up shooting over its back. So, and lastly, aim low. Your deer is going to drop about 3 to 4 inches on average, sometimes anywhere from 2 to 6. But I always aim at the lower third of the deer to anticipate the deer dropping from the snap. It's like a rubber band snapping. So that when that bow goes off, it's going to make the deer drop. So anticipate that by aiming low, about 3 to 4 inches on average. So hunting just isn't about shooting. Different phases of the season, pre-rut, rut, and late season, they all require slightly different strategies. And we offer videos that help you at different stages of the season, and you can get the most out of your hunt. Be sure to check this video out in the corner about the pre-rut. So just to recap, you don't need the most expensive bow or broadheads or clothing. Match your broadheads to your practice tips. and know your arrows and your bow setup. Shoot a lot so you're comfortable with everything. Everything's tuned in. Keep your gear scent free and move quietly and respect the wind. Be patient on the stand. Wait for broadside. Wait for that perfect angle. And have a plan for access and exiting, tracking and recovery. If you're new or you want to brush up on a season-specific strategy, check out our videos. And if you're a new hunter, be sure to leave a question or comment down below. I'll get back to you. I'll maybe send a video your way, or I'll even make a video if that's what we need to do. And you don't have to be a new hunter. I mean, you can be a veteran hunter and watch these videos and just brush up on season-specific strategies, or they're just friendly reminders, because we're always, updating our videos. So be sure to check out all of our stuff. If this has helped you, thanks so much for hitting that subscribe button, clicking the bell, the thumbs up. All that stuff really helps us. And that way you get notified when our new videos come out. And be sure to stay tuned for upcoming tips on bow hunting. We're gonna be loading a lot more videos. We do every season, every July, August, September, even into October, November, into December, all the way to late season. Very excited about this season. It's right around the corner. Be sure to let me know if you need anything. You guys, I'll get back to everybody. Thank you for taking the time to leave a comment. If you have a longer detailed message, you can email me, bobby@therabbitrycenter.com. That's our rabbitry business. We also raise New Zealand rabbits because we specialize in backyard businesses, helping folks not only produce a delicious, non-hazardous chemical white meat, but we love filling the freezer with our red meat, our red venison, and we also raise bees. We have a bee channel called Bobby's Bees, Bobby's Bucks, and the Rabbitry Center. Often people say, why didn't you do Bobby's Bunnies? Because the Rabbitry Center was our first channel ever. Again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.